And that is going to lead us straight into Game Club. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, each week we play a video game. We play a chapter or a segment or a timed interval of that game, and we talk about it. And we're going to spoil a lot of it. And this week, of course, we are playing The Wolf Among Us, a classic Telltale game based off of a DC comic.
Yep.
That involves, fables, being in the real world, being all changed into kind of humans, using a magic called glamour. And this is their, their troubles, trials, and tribulations of the real world.
Not everyone needs a glamour, though.
Not
it's
everyone
only like the non-human ones that need it, really.
So we play as Sheriff Bigby Wolf, who is, of course, the big bad wolf. And he is glamored up to look like a...
Well, is he glamored, though? Because he can change to look like a wolf. I think
that's his glamour coming off.
Okay, maybe we'll see him get re-glamored or something like that. I just assumed he could change. He's like a werewolf, kind of. But maybe not.
I think you can... you can make your glamour go away if you get really angry or whatever. Because it seems to be when anyone gets emotional, their glamour kind of dissipates.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're probably right.
So we played through episode 1, which was called Faith, and we learn that there is a serial murderer on the loose, destroying people. And we're on episode 2 now, Smoke and Mirrors.
Yep.
And of course, the last thing we see last episode was Snow White's head.
Yep.
On our front doorstep.
She was dead.
She was dead. It's just her head. It's not her body. Just her head.
Very sad.
Very sad. And so now we're in Mundy. Is that what they're called? Mundies?
Yeah, they're like the Mudbloods.
Yeah.
No, wait. Is that what?
Muggles.
Muggles, there.
Yeah, so these are just Mundies, the mundane people that are not fables. And we're in the jail, right? Not in the jail, but we're in the interview room.
Station,
the police station. We
being
are
interviewed.
Yeah, being interviewed by a person. And
not being too helpful to the police here.
I have a really hard time picking answers that are against my nature.
Oh, yeah.
It's
so... Because
you're
trying to be wienerly?
Difficult. I'm trying to be as wienerly as I can, but some answers I'm just like, I'm not thinking about it, and then I just pick what I would normally pick. And I'm like, damn it, I should have been wienerly.
You should just play it the way you want to play it. You don't have to be a wiener.
I kind of want to be a wiener, just to see the differences, right? Because we're just going to have the same experiences.
But that's okay.
I mean, it's okay, but I'd rather not.
Okay.
I'd rather not. I'd rather have like a different point to say.
All right.
But sometimes it's hard to find out which one is the wienerly answer.
Oh,
when you're going through, because it's like sometimes they all sound wienerly, or sometimes you think it's going to be wienerly and it's not at all. It's like
that's I find sometimes in these games what'll be like I'll choose an option and it'll be like that's not my intention with that selection at all. Yeah. So while we're being interviewed by the policewoman. Eventually, she gets a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Actually, Bigby smells it before he sees it because he's like, "You've got a nosebleed," and then the blood comes out of her nose, and everyone around him is all freaking out, like, "Oh, my brains!" Ah! And what's his name? Ichabod comes in and is like, "Yeah, the witches cast a spell. None of them are gonna remember this.
Yeah,
we got to get you out of here. Let's go, out of this place. We'll take care of it ourselves, basically." Yeah. And as Bigby leaves. He leaves the Snow White decapitated head picture on the table. And I was like, is he going to take that or what? They're going to remember. He did take it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He didn't take it for you?
No, he did take it. But I just was like, what? He's leaving the picture. What is he doing? So stupid.
Yeah.
When you drove back with Ichabod, were you like nice to him? Or?
No, I called him out. I was like, you don't really care about Snow White.
I was nice to him and, whatever, said nice things to him. And then by the end of the chapter, I was like, oh, I was wrong about it. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So you get out back at your apartment because apparently at your apartment is where they have the person you've captured from the last episode.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you went after Tweedledee,
yeah,
and I went after the Woodsman.
Yeah. So you had the Woodsman down there.
I had the Woodsman down there.
That's crazy. I never thought of that.
Now it's completely different.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It might not really be completely different. So, what exactly happened for you down there with the woodsman?
So I was nice with the woodsman. I was
Okay.
like, hey, here's this thing.
So what did he
I was
have?
threatening, but I was also nice. He had a bottle
Uh-huh.
of booze, cigarettes,
Uh-huh.
and that's it.
Okay.
And so I gave him a light. I was
Yep.
like, hey, start talking. But I knew he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So I was nice to him because I already knew that he didn't have.
And then
anything to do with
Bluebeard
it.
would
And
be
Bluebeard
what?
was an absolute dickbag.
Hey, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Let me turn the screws or whatever.
Yeah.
But you got him talking, and what did he tell you?
He told me that Faith
Mm-hmm.
was not supposed to be there. It was supposed to be somebody else who was there called Lily.
Oh.
And Lily
Lily
was the one he would normally meet. But she had said that, no, I can't. You have to go meet the woodsman tonight, to Faith.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was... the woodsman wouldn't really talk, but you got him... Being nice made him open up and tell you these things. That It's
Okay.
like, it's not... He didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay. So, and did he tell you, like, anything about where to go to next?
Nope.
Like, where he would have talked to
Nope.
Faith or anything like that?
No. He didn't know. All he knew was that
Okay.
these were people of the night, and so we had to kind of figure out where to go from there.
So, with me, I had one of the Tweedles, I don't remember which one, and he had a bottle of booze and a stogie, which I let him have a puff of his stogie.
Yeah.
I gave him a drink of booze, and Bluebeard was like, no, fuck this. Well, you're not going to get anything out of him. But I was playing the good cop.
Yeah.
And he told me what he knew, which was that Faith owed money to her boss. And her boss was... I think he said that it was Georgie Porgy.
Yeah.
And that he didn't kill her. Oh, he had money too. A big fat roll of money, which I did not take. And she'd stolen something. But we didn't know what it was. But I didn't punch him or anything like that. But Bluebeard started beating him up. And then all of a sudden, in walks
Snow White. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what?
I know. I was like, oh, what? What is happening?
You dead?
Yeah.
So, after that, we get to talk to her. I never actually asked her straight up what happened.
Yeah.
I asked her, like, are you okay? And she didn't really say anything about, like, what happened or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, I thought you were dead. Where the hell have you been? And she was like, I was just out.
Yeah. I didn't ask her those questions, so I
Yeah.
never knew anything. So then when we find out what was going on with the body,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, that's what's going on here.
Yeah. So eventually they find the body, and who has found the body is TJ, which is Frog's little boy. Apparently TJ likes to go out at night and swim in the river.
Yeah.
And his father's always like, hey, if you hear anybody, go under the water and stay under there.
Yeah.
And so while he heard people, he was under the bridge, he heard people, and so he went under the water and he stayed there, but then a body just comes flying in under him, over top of him.
So did you do a gentle hand with TJ?
I did a gentle hand with TJ because he's just a boy.
Yeah, I did too. But there was the one where it was like an option to like console him or whatever.
Yeah.
So I chose console him, and then Big B like reaches out to like pat him on the shoulder. He's like, oh, like he's gonna get hit.
Yeah. I mean, you're
So I was
Big
like,
B Wolf.
Oh, god damn it.
You're pretty notorious.
But I was nice enough to him that Snow White said nice things about me talking to him afterwards.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
So we find out that's the probably whoever killed Lily. We find out it's Lily later.
Yeah.
He was like saying something like, stop laughing at me, but there's no one else there laughing at him. It was just one person, but he doesn't know who it was or recognize the voice or see anything else.
Yeah.
All he saw and heard is what he told us, basically. At least that's all I got from him.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So we don't really know anything about the killer.
No.
except that he said, "Stop laughing at me."
Yeah.
So it could be anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Not a clue as of
Yeah.
yet. We eventually go down into where they have the body to figure out what the heck's going
Yeah.
on and examine it. And we can tell that it looks like Snow White's body, but it's not Snow White's body. Like there's imperfections in how
Yeah.
the clothing is and
There's an extra button.
tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, just, you know, like they open his shirt and you see her like wearing pink underwear, and like Bigby's like, "Oh, are you wearing lingerie?" And she's just like, "No." But we check her out and see, and we find she has flowers in her hand. Did you find those?
Flowers in her hand. Nope.
Yeah, her one hand, she had some flowers in there. Her right
No,
hand.
I couldn't even click on a hand.
You had to switch sides to see her other
Oh, I
hand.
didn't know you could switch sides.
Yeah, and then she had track marks in her leg.
Yep, saw those.
I had to like pry her hand open and like break her fingers to get the flowers because it was all like grabbed onto basically. And oh yeah, we find she had a perfume that was labeled like "use this" in her
Yep.
pocket, which is the same brand that I found
Snow uses.
I found the perfume bottle on Snow White's desk, but
I didn't
Bigby-
find that.
Bigby could just smell it.
Yeah.
So I found it on her desk too, though. And then we find a little talisman that has a puzzle much like Star Wars.
Yeah, you just line up the
We have to
thing.
line up the puzzle, and it opens up, and it's like a glamour to make someone look like Snow White, and it has her hair and a picture of her missing that was stolen from her apartment
Yeah.
inside of it.
Yeah.
So she's like weirded out, like, who the hell went in my apartment and took this picture? And then we see that this is the troll is Lily.
Yeah, once the glamour is removed from her, then the glamour goes away and it becomes a troll, and it's Lily, who has been missing for quite some time. And this is the sister of the troll from the
I can't remember the name of the bar. The Trip Trap bar.
Trip Trap, yeah.
So we're going to the Trip Trap, and did you take Snow White with you?
I took Snow White with me, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I'm not leaving you anywhere. You're coming with me.
I just said it's up to her. Whatever she wants to do, I'm not her keeper.
Yeah.
So we go to the bar, and in there's a guy who is another dude, another Fable.
Yeah.
His name's Jack.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Well, that's what I thought. It's
Yeah.
not, though.
It's not Jack?
No, it's not.
It's Jack
It
and
is-
Jill?
It is Jack and Jill. Because I looked at the unlock,
Okay, yeah.
and you can read about
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, I was like, it's not Jack and the Beanstalk. So we go there and we talk about Lily, and you have to talk to Holly about what was going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used a gentle hand with her too.
I just let Snow do all the talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't say a single word.
Actually, maybe I didn't either.
I was
No,
like,
I did say something, because by the end, Snow White was like, "Oh, you're very kind to her." Yeah, no. But we find out about. This is actually where we find out about the. What's Georgie Porgy's bar called?
the Puddin' and Pie.
Well, it's just called the Puddin' and
Georgie
Pie.
Porgy Puddin' and Pie.
Yeah.
Kissed the girls and made them cry.
Yeah, that's basically her pimp was Georgie Porgy.
Yeah.
So we got to go to the Georgie
Puddin' and
Porgy
Pie.
Pie to see what's going on next.
Yeah.
So when you talked to Georgie Porgy, what did you do with Georgie Porgy?
Well, first we should talk about who. Oh no! Yeah. No, never mind. That's not yet. That's in the next place.
Yeah.
I was a dick.
You smashed the shit out of this place?
I smashed half the shit out of this place.
Okay, so how did that play out?
I was just like, you go up.
Mhm.
You know, Hans has the radio.
Yeah.
The radio gets knocked. Well, Hans is like the repairman. And he's doing his thing with the lady and playing the music.
Yeah.
And then the radio falls over and it breaks. And so now you got to like start smashing stuff.
And then Hans says something about the book
Yeah. No, yeah, there's a book that contains all the
information.
from the gigolos and
Yeah.
the ladies.
And you started smashing?
I didn't smash the radio,
Okay.
but I smashed no, I didn't smash the keg. I didn't smash the radio, I didn't smash the keg, but I smashed the sign and I smashed the TV.
And what did Georgie Porgy say?
And he's like, come on now, oh man.
Oh, Georgie Porgy. I didn't smash anything.
Yeah?
I would just walk up to it, and he'd be like, no, don't do it, man. Don't do it. And then I'd walk to the next thing. He'd be like, no, come on, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I had to prove good on my threats.
No, he just eventually was like, fine, I'll give you the fucking book. Stop threatening me with fake violence.
Yeah. As soon as I got to the DJ booth, I was like, I can't smash the DJ booth.
Of course. Of course.
So yeah, he eventually gives you the book, and you can see through it. There's a room number.
Yeah.
On
but we don't know where.
next to the name. It says Lily, Snow White, and Mr. Smith.
And 207 or whatever.
Yeah, 207.
So you could see someone was watching us in the back room.
Yeah, and that's the girl who was on the pole earlier.
Yeah. Oh, was
with
she
Georgie.
naked for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. When I was streaming it, I was like, oh no.
You're
but
like, oh.
Also, like, someone watching the stream was like, oh, I don't think she was naked when I played it. So, anyways, I was so very surprised to see that.
Yes.
So we go to talk to her, but before you talk to her in the back room, you can like look at the shelving.
Yep.
But the way I went in there, I thought like, oh, Georgie's gonna come in here and kick me out if I take too much time.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm not gonna look at everything. I'll look at and talk to her, and then if I have time, I'll look at the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't look at. There's her whole cubby with all her stuff in it. I didn't look at that.
Yeah.
And you don't have a chance to look at it.
Oh.
So what was in it?
So it's just like makeup and stuff, nothing too important. But you do find a note, and that note is to Faith. And that note says, Faith, can you do this job for me?
Oh, but that was on the ground.
Yeah,
right?
that was on the ground.
That I found, but there was a whole cubby.
Yeah, no, there's nothing in there.
Oh, okay, good.
Everything's been broken open.
Okay.
That was there. Even the stuff that wasn't locked.
Because when he walked past and I didn't look at it and he was going to talk to the girl, he looked back at it and was looking at it as he walked by, and I was like, fuck, I'm not going to get to look at it. Because Bigby was looking at it as I walked by, and I was like, damn it, I missed my opportunity.
Yeah, there's really nothing in there of importance.
So,
other than the note.
When I talked to the girl, she's like, I can't tell you anything. But then she's like, do you want to book me? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
Make an appointment.
Yeah. So then I had to book her. And then she's like, okay, it costs X amount of dollars. And I was like, oh, I'm a bit strapped right now.
Yeah.
I don't have any money.
Yeah, bit strapped.
So she had to pay out of her own money to fake it with Georgie Porgy. Which I don't know why Georgie Porgy didn't question it at all.
No.
It's like, Bigby, really? You're buying a hooker? You're the sheriff. Anyways, she gives us a key to the apartment.
Yeah. 204.
Yeah, 204. And we go to the... What is the apartment?
The Open
called?
Arms Hotel, which is literally next door.
Yeah, pretty much. And the cop is coming out when you go over there. And then we find out this is where Beauty is.
Yeah, that's where she's been moonlighting as the front desk lady.
Yeah. And Big B's like, I gotta, working on the murder. I gotta get into this room.
Let me tell you, the cola machine in the start of this area made me happy.
Why?
It's just one of the old cola machines that looks super cool.
There was a cigarette machine in the Trip Trap Club, I think, too.
I don't have nostalgia for cigarette machines, though.
I do, because I remember buying cigarettes for my mom out of them.
Yeah?
Just thinking about that now is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That you could just buy cigarettes from a vending machine. Literally in the lobby of a restaurant. Like, not even like where a kid couldn't get to them.
Mm-hmm.
You could just go buy cigarettes.
Yeah, smoking was cool back then.
But, like, kids weren't supposed to smoke either, and what easier way to get smokes was there for a kid than a fucking cigarette machine?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's crazy. Times have changed.
Yep. So we go upstairs, and I just went straight to 207. I was like, nah, we're just going straight to 207.
Yeah, I didn't even go into 204 either.
No.
Try to. But Beauty's like, no, you can't go in there, and Bigby's like, look.
It's a murder investigation.
Like, let me in. So she's, like, trying the key, but it won't work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Beast comes up. It's like, I knew you were fucking her.
It's like, was Beast just following you the entire time?
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder. Because, like, why would he even go into this building?
It's just a plot thing, right? To make it's basically somehow they have to break down the door.
Yeah.
And this is how they did it, right? So we have a scrap.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't want to fight Beast. So when it was, like, time to swing on him, I didn't.
Oh, I totally did.
But I died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like game over, so I had to fight him, basically.
Oh, yeah, I fought him, and I beat him while he was down. I eye gouged him.
I did eye gouge him. I did what I basically had to.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what would happen if you tell him the truth. That, oh yeah, I saw her. She left. I don't know where it went. I'm sure they would have a fight anyways.
Probably.
He'd probably just be like, oh, you lied to me earlier. You said you didn't know where she's going, but you're coming here to the Bone Town with her. And Beauty the whole time is trying to be like, no, Beast, listen to me. It's not what you think. Just listen. And he throws us through the door, and we find the murder scene of Lily.
Yeah.
And Beast finally calms down a bit.
He's like, oh, okay, you're telling the truth.
And then we go into detective mode in the room, basically.
Yeah.
And it was interesting in this scene because you'd find a clue, and you'd find another clue, but you could link them together if you told Beauty how they were linked.
Yeah.
And she would say, oh, yeah, okay, that's right. And there was like a pop-up or something saying, like, you linked the clue properly or whatever. So that was a little interesting thing to see, because that hasn't happened yet in the game. Unless there was clues that I fucked up earlier that I didn't know about, but I don't think there was.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we see Lily was glamored to look like Snow White. They were recreating the Snow White...
The Mundy version of Snow White.
Of her, like, sleeping in the flowers. That's where she had flowers in her hand from. Because in the book, she had flowers in her hand, too. And basically, she was pretending to be sleeping or whatever. And whoever did it, killed her. Cut her head off. She had also, like, a Snow White outfit that she was probably wearing.
Yep.
That she was switched out of. What else did we find in that room?
We find, the book with the Mundy version of Snow White, which kind of helps you do all the linking of stuff. Yep. You find the apple, the poison apple right? That wasn't actually poisoned.
Yep.
And eventually, after you find the apple, you find a envelope kind of tucked in underneath the rug.
Oh, yeah.
And it has pictures of Snow White, but then also pictures of you and Snow White.
Yeah.
And so it's like within a year that these photos were taken.
Oh, and there was also the cassette with the music that was playing. Yeah. And a few times in the scene, like near the end, I was like, oh, someone's watching me. Because it would I could see the vague outline of the mirror.
Yeah. Oh,
just a few flashes before you actually see who's looking through the mirror, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, someone's watching me. What's going on here? And, we work through the clues and everything like that, and then it cuts to the mirror, and Ichabod is looking at us through the mirror.
And he's quite upset.
But how did we... Oh. We don't see until the preview of the next time on The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Where they show, like, Ichabod is in the room with Lily.
Yeah.
With his hand on, like, under her dress or whatever. As Snow White. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? So I do think this is, like, a red herring.
Yes, 100% a red herring.
Like, I don't think Ichabod killed Lily.
No. With those scrawny arms, not even.
But they show, like, Bluebeard is now, like, acting mayor or whatever, because he's got his feet kicked up on the desk, which is not good for me, because I was, like, putting Bluebeard in his place when we were, interrogating. Like, what's your problem, Bluebeard? So now he's, like, my boss, basically. So it's just like, what the fuck is going to happen next? And then it shows you, like, how you choices compared to other people. And mine were, I think, were pretty well across. No, like, I think being nice to Ichabod Crane was very low. I was nice to him, and it was like 14% of people were nice to Crane in the car ride.
I was not nice to him, and that was 12%.
Well, maybe I had it backwards then. Maybe 84% of the people were nice to him. Or maybe it's different because you're PC.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Who knows?
So, do you want me to tell you something It's not... I don't think it's a spoiler, but I read all the book... the Book of Fables with the unlocks. Have you looked at any of that stuff?
No, not yet.
So they tell you, like, stuff about the characters and the buildings and the history of the world. And also, like, a bit about their stories, as fables. So Bluebeard's first two wives he had, he cut their heads off.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it said some other stuff about Bluebeard. And I was reading that and I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Right?
So, and that was the other thing, too. I went back and looked at my previous chapters'
choices,
and it also shows you who you think is the murderer based on your.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking at it in the first chapter, it showed Bluebeard as one of the options.
Yeah, but it's like, why would you even pick that when you've never seen the character?
I've never seen the character. So then I was like, But then I was also like, this is a little too obvious, I think.
Yeah, right.
So maybe someone's trying to frame Bluebeard, possibly.
Could be.
But I don't know who the killer is yet.
Nope, me neither.
I don't think it's Georgie Porgy. I don't think it's Ichabod. I don't think it's the Huntsman. I don't really think it's Bluebeard. I don't think it's Bigby.
It could be.
Well, I mean, they're doing The Wolf Among Us 2, so I don't think it's Bigby.
Maybe it's Snow White. Maybe she's the killer.
Oh, maybe she... You know what? That's a possibility. Throw you off the track.
Off the track.
She does want to change things up, so that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm excited to see the next chapter and see what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
It's who knows at this point. Yeah, this is my favorite Telltale one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Highly recommend anyone out there play it. But if you're listening to this now, then you should have not listened. I guess.
I mean, you can still enjoy it. Do your own choices or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But I recommend it.
Yeah, 100%.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
All right, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of this podcast. Actually, the end of this podcast. So, yeah, if you liked what you heard,
excuse me,
then go ahead and.
Sorry, it was Jack and Jill. Sorry.
Yeah,
we went over that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you liked what you heard on this podcast, make sure to leave us a like. Make sure to share us with a friend, and just let us know how we're doing. And if you want to participate in GameClub, go ahead and join the Discord down below, the Purple Room Studios Discord, where we are recording this lovely podcast for your ear holes today.
Yes.
And make sure to join the Patreon, patreon.com/pod.
Yes, please.
That's the way you can support us monetarily, if you wish, with your hard-earned dollar days.
As little as $1 a month.
Yep. As little as $1.
Barely feel it.
Barely feel it. Cool breeze. Right through your wallet.
Exactly. But the more the merrier.
Yes. All right, guys. With that being said, we'll see you guys again in 1 week's time.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.